Good afternoon, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon from a very chilly Ontario. We had a low last night of minus 24 and it's gone up somewhat with the sun today. We're sitting at actually at a very pleasant minus 8 degrees centigrade, and that is quite tolerable when you're dressed, and you do have to be dressed for this, get your layers on, and but other than that there's really not much been going on around the homestead, but we can still do a little walk and talk and take a look at things, take a look at nature. These pristine days of winter when the sky clears and we get full sunshine are just absolutely beautiful. These are the days that you write home about in winter time. Okay, here we go. So I saw these things on Facebook, the Hulk arms for your chickens, and I can't stop laughing at this stupid chicken. He's ready to go. Jasmine doesn't know what to make of it. These things are too funny. They fit right in with the way that chickens walk. Anyway, $10 on Amazon. Hulk arms for your chicken. There you go. I don't think she's too happy though. We're going to take them right off. Poor thing. Am I teasing you? This is what happens when you get cabin fever and you got some chickens, the internet and a credit card. And there you go, that's what they look like when they're off the chicken, just a little piece of wire that goes around their neck. And there you go, fun with the chickens. This is my wild turkey feeding patch. I was over here the other day and there was about, I don't know, close to 20 wild turkeys pecking away at the ground. They kind of walk through this property. They must have a circuit that they go on. And because Jazz loves the feathers. By the way, I've turned her over to a full raw diet, and I am so impressed with the results. We've been doing this now for about going into our 3rd week, and before, when she was on the kibble, wow, she was really fussy. She was very fussy indeed. Sometimes she would eat it, sometimes she wouldn't. You know, she was never kind of an eager eater. And now that we've gone to the raw, she eats up absolutely everything. As soon as you put that bowl down, it is gone. And she's looking extremely fit, and it is exactly what a dog should be eating. Now, if you want to do this, what I did was we started off with just straight chicken breasts, and got used to that idea, and it was overnight. I just stopped the kibble one day, and I started the raw the next day, and we haven't looked back since. Anyway, she got used to that boneless meat and she liked that. Then I started buying a beef shank. These are all pretty cheap cuts of meat, by the way. You know, beef shank is coming in around about $4 or $5 a pound. And today we just did some kidney to see if she will eat offal meat. And she's doing that now. She eat bones. I get you know, the cheaper chicken legs, the thighs, that kind of stuff. You know, you're looking at $4 or $5 a pound for that kind of raw. And so it is very, very cost effective. I figured that I was spending in kibble, well, it's $140 a bag, and she goes through 2.5 bags a month easily. I tell you, the doggy daycare said to me the other day, there's grain in her poop, what's going on? That's what it is. She's eating little bits of the turkey meal. Anyways, so it would work out about $320 a month. Well, her diet is, it should be around about 1.36 pounds. She's getting about 2 pounds a day. So we're looking at $10 a day in food, 30 days a month, $300. It's actually a little cheaper to do the raw, and you don't have to think. You know, you just get a couple of things out of the fridge and put it in a bowl, and there you go, it's done. And the big upside is no poo, or very little poo. I don't know if you've ever been out in the wild and seen coyote droppings, but they're just sort of like these hard white balls. So there's almost nothing to them because the body takes everything out of the food. And so yes, there's no cleanup, and I'm very pleased. She's almost like a puppy again. She is just bouncing around, and of course she gets a couple of eggs a day, and that's why her coat is so shiny and sleek. And but yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that. I think that's going to make things a lot more versatile. Now look at that. That is absolutely unbelievable. Clear blue sky, and they're goddamn well chemtrailing. Unbelievable. This is, you can see it flaring at the edges. That is definitely not a contrail. And you can see because it's lingering in the sky. You know, they can't let you have one sunny day without spraying that shit up there. Christ knows what's in it, but I'm sure it ain't good for you. So the packing goes on. I'm about a third, at least a third, maybe close to a half of moving all of the things over to the new sea container, and you will be pleased to hear that I have found a place to move to in April. It is a similar situation to this, a homestead in the making, and it's an older couple, a little bit younger than I am, but they are realizing just how much work it is to put a little homestead together to endure some hard times and to ensure food security. And there you go, look at that, plane number 2. Absolutely disgusting. I'm just horrified when I see this stuff all over the world. You see it in movies now, all kinds of things. Look at it, it's just pouring out of the back of that plane. And I've noticed this, that they do this, you know, we've got some partial cloud coming in tomorrow and then snow back again on Wednesday, and I see that they do this all the time. Just before we're going to get a rainstorm or a snowstorm, they're up there chemtrailing. Anyway, so as I was saying, it's a very similar property to this, except it has a lake on it, and you know, all over this area now there are small groups getting together and sharing the things that they have, so you know, rent and exchange for work, and that works for me. All I have to do is find a park model trailer, and there is a site ready to go, and there is water and electrical hookup, and there's all the things that I enjoy doing. So we'll be cutting trails, cutting wood, taking care of chickens, and yes, on the 25th of this month there is a food security presentation going on in one of the local churches, and I will be attending that. I hope to be videoing it actually, but as I say, there are a lot of small groups who are realizing that we've got to become homesteaders, and that there are some really serious issues on the horizon, and you know, I think we've all realized by now that the government is not going to be there to help in any kind of serious way. By the time they've made a decision and bungled that decision several times and then reformulated, boy oh boy, you know, you could be long gone, let me tell you. So yes, that's a very interesting aspect of what is happening, and I'm very pleased to have found a place that's secure and safe, and that Jazz can be there. But I will be sorry to say goodbye to this place. It has its own unique character, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I've been very happy here in the last 2 years, very happy indeed, and I'm actually sad that it didn't work out, but that is the way life goes sometimes. I'll probably let you watch as I take down my CB antenna. We had to get a crane in to put the last 2 sections up and the antenna on the top, but I'm anticipating that coming down will be an awful lot easier, as the sections were all greased up before they were put together. And I actually did take this tower down originally from its original location. This tower actually is one of the light standards on the Labrador runway, airport runway, and it was one of the maintenance staff workers there. I don't know how he got it, but anyway he did. He was using it as a TV antenna, and I did take it down originally. In fact, we just dropped it, and that's why, if you look carefully, there's a bit of a curve to it. It would not come apart. It was funny. It was snowing. My leg was shaking going up the frickin' thing. That's like 40 feet higher, that tower. Anyway, it's going with me. My CB antenna. No doubt about it. And of course, oh, look at that turkey fella. There is no doubt about it. The solar likes these sunny days. And I will say this, you know, that with the solar, even in the short days of winter, you know, with a low sun, I'm not going to point directly at the sun, but that sun is low in the sky this time of the year. It's still more than enough sunlight to charge the batteries. It's the cloud cover that's the problem. That is the real issue here. There's just too many cloudy days in wintertime for solar to be a really, you know, to be a sole source of power. Now there, look, you can see that's the difference between a chemtrail and a contrail. See how that's flared out and it's staying where it is? Contrails are condensation, and condensation evaporates very, very quickly, so you see those tails maybe go out, I don't know, 200-300 yards behind the plane, but then they thin out and completely disappear. But chemtrails do not. And give that another half an hour or so, and that will be a haze in the sky. One of the little chores this morning was setting up a heat lamp in here. We've had just the 2 coldest days of the year so far, and for the next week or so the overnights are going to be around about -9, -10. And anyway, the amount of hydro that a heat bulb will use, I think, will be more than compensated in battery efficiency. Batteries do not like cold weather, as anyone who lives in Canada knows. And I'm glad that I've learned something about solar. I would say that I am fairly competent. I could probably install a simple system now, and having spent 2 years maintaining and replacing components as necessary, and the battery, and getting to talk to the actual solar guy. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. If it wasn't so devastating to the environment in the manufacture of the solar panels, but you know, I don't know what the solution is. Tesla power, and not Elon Musk Tesla. I'm talking about Nikola Tesla, and his energy derived from the ionosphere and then broadcast out. Look at those chickens. This is their dust bath under here. They love getting on it. It's the only place that isn't frozen up, and they scratch around, and this is how they keep their bugs down, apparently. I didn't realise that. They take a dust bath and it gets the bugs off them. Apparently all chickens are prone to mites. Yes, anyway, Tesla had come up with this thing like 1895. It's unbelievable how long this technology has been around. But this is the idea of broadcasting electricity via scalar waves. And you can Google that. And this is hydro that is broadcast. You wouldn't need any wires. It would just receive the hydro. And this is a workable thing. The US Army used it in the Come on back. Come on, Jazz. I thought that was a coyote down there. It's Jasmine. Down at the end of the driveway. Cheeky little monkey. So yeah, the US military used this for these snipers who are long distance, you know, as reconnaissance, and they all have, you know, battery powered equipment, and they broadcast scalar waves at them to recharge the batteries. So this is technology that is tried, proven. They know it works. The thing they hate about it is they can't control it. It literally is free hydro for everybody. Safe generation. There is no byproduct, there's no pollution involved. But, you know, the oil, gas, coal industries have suppressed this information, just as they suppressed the information about hemp. You know, Henry Ford was going to use a diesel engine in his Model T Fords, and it was going to run on hemp oil. He'd bought literally thousands and thousands of acres, and he was going to turn it over to hemp production so that he could run his Model Ts. And of course, you know, the cotton and the oil lobby didn't like that. The cotton didn't like hemp because hemp is an unbelievably tough fiber. It's resilient, it's waterproof, it resists erosion by salt. That's why it was preferred by sailors for sails and all of that kind of stuff. Ropes, hawsers, and that's what it was all about. It was all economic. It was nothing to do with whether pot is safe for you to smoke or what. All of that kind of had nothing to do with it. It was all commercial. And so here we are, losing an amazing product that will grow in scratchy ground with little fertilizer, and you get a high quality light industrial oil out of the seeds. You can also be used for cooking, and all of the fibers in the plant can be used for making all kinds of clothing, paper, I mean everything that we really need. There are so many things that we could be doing, you know, which wouldn't change our lives that very much, would be beneficial, and would be so much better than the existing things that we are doing. Wow. And it just drives me nuts, you know, when I see this sort of waste taking place, and just weight of money overpowering, you know, good sensible ideas, and stopping, you know, competition from building up in different areas. And this, of course, is why the system is toppling. You know, you have all of these vested interests paying huge sums of money to influence the outcome. Of a particular decision the government makes one way or another as far as regulations are concerned. And of course that is probably not the best decision. And so now it's just so absolutely distorted, it's unbelievable. And so this is why we're seeing the poor decision making, because they're trying to mitigate all the damage that has been done by the unbelievably poor vested interest decision making that has been made in the past. Nice big old white pine there, not much good for wood. I don't know why it split into 4 different trunks there from the one. But this was the principal tree up here. This is what the British came in to log out, was the white pine for masts on the tall ships. And there you go. There's the wild turkey tracks coming in. It's amazing how they survive. There's so little to eat. Yeah, you'd wonder. And the small birds, chickadees and that kind of stuff, how do they stay warm in temperatures like this? But as I say, it sure is beautiful. We come down this trail every day, about 4 kilometers round trip. It is so peaceful. It just calms the whole mind. And there you go, that's exactly what I was talking about. That is coyote droppings, I believe. And it just basically breaks down. That is just dry stuff, not like the regular bulky poo that you see coming out of dogs. That's what's great about winter time. You can see in the snow all of the tracks leading down to that little hole. There's a little mouse there. And there you go. I do believe that that is the footprints of a coyote. And this here, this may be a fox. Anyway, it's kind of interesting to see what tracks you can find as you come down the trail here. And I don't know how clearly defined that is, but there's some deer tracks. Lots of wildlife roaming around here. Lots of wildlife. The rustic cabin that I was starting to build here ended up getting truncated into basically a blind. This is an excellent viewpoint. As I say, there's lots of wildlife goes past here. And there you go, more deer tracks right there. So yeah, this is inside, and as you can see, I just shortened the roof and I put a tarp up there and covered that over with logs, and then just filled this all in with pine trees. But you can see it's an excellent spot to view from. There's a good clear view of the trail and anything that goes wandering past. Yeah, looks like something got eaten down there. There is not a lot of waste. Not a lot of waste in the bush. It's funny how these little openings just occur in the bush like this. This is just a beautiful sunny rock. Great camping spot. Although I'll tell you one thing I won't miss is the frickin' bugs. Man oh man, I never seen a place like this for bugs. There is so much low-lying water. The deer fly were just, I mean, from May right the way through till the beginning of September, it was bug central. But other than that, it was okay. Yep, it's quite the spot. Been very happy here for 2 long years. I'll never forget this time. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little walk and talk about the property here and some of the things that are happening. As I said, I'm going to a food security meeting or presentation. There are several speakers talking about just basically every aspect of food security. And, you know, I'm going to leave you with 2 things. One is a saying from the beginning of one of my survival books, and it says, "Mother Nature plays by one set of rules, her own, and she doesn't like crybabies." How true is that? And the other thing is from a Rand Corporation think piece that I read years and years ago, and this was about the carrying capacity of this planet. In other words, how many people could be sustained on the planet. Anyway, there was one little part where it said that in the whole history of humankind, when humans have been forced to choose between starving and raiding, humans raid. Okay, that is an absolute certainty. And as we go into these food shortages, I don't know how much we're going to see up here in the country, but certainly down in the city. I think it's going to be quite tenuous. So be aware of that, and like I say, I will video this presentation if I can, and I will bring that to you so that we can all learn something about food security. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See ya. Bye.